This little stem doesn't look like much, does it? But this piece combined with this handlebar, wow, they are two key pieces to the puzzle of a brand new bicycle project that I am rolling out to you today. It's been something I've been thinking about for quite some time. Let's talk about it. It's going to be a little bit of mad scientist work. Will it be a tragedy or a success? I don't know. You're going to find out when I find out. In the meantime, stay tuned. But before I get into the project, hey, how about these sexy new red sunglasses, huh? This is the Tifosi Sanctum model. They're brand new. I saw them and I said, ooh, that could be a good look for this old guy in 2024. So thanks to Tifosi for sending these to me at no charge. Shout out to these guys for keeping this old guy as sexy and spicy as he can possibly be. 35 bucks, not bad, huh? You could ride in these. Nice coverage. Anyway, I like them. If you think you like them too, give me a thumbs up and check them out at Tifosi. Okay, to the project. So, you know I love my gravel bike. And my Cyclosis is a very capable bike. With the mullet gearing, I can take easily a 45 millimeter tire on it, probably more, and I'll be investigating that in another video coming up. But it's a very capable bicycle. Quite good on the bad roads you're having here, great on gravel, etc., road, etc. Okay. If there is a point where, in the type of riding that I do and the type of riding I want to do, where the gravel bike just would not be the best choice. Yes, I could do it, but I don't think it would be the best choice. The best choice you would think might be a mountain bike, because maybe it's steeper, maybe it's rougher, maybe it's very sandy to where if you've got a gravel bike, you're just struggling or you're walking, okay? What if I want to put a lot of bags and stuff on it? Maybe I'll be gone for a few days. Maybe at my age, those long, rough downhills, even with like a red shift stem on a gravel bike, it's really not enough to keep me from getting rattled. And I don't want to get rattled in my age. So what do? Well, the obvious choice would be like a hardtail mountain bike, wouldn't it? Except, here's my problem with that. Flat bars absolutely make sense on a mountain bike. If you're doing fast, high-speed technical terrain, flat bars rock. There's a reason why motorcycles, etc., have flat bars on them. But for long distances on, let's say, mildly technical terrain, mixed with technical terrain, what's going to happen on that flat bar? That could be a real wrist wrecker over a long period of time. No, I would like to have a drop bar. Well, the problem is a drop bar, they don't come on mountain bikes, do they? Now, if you've ever seen the Salsa Cutthroat, if you've ever seen that bike was purposely built to be a drop bar. Maybe not a pure mountain bike, but certainly more capable than a gravel bike. It'll take a 2.2 by 29 easily, and probably 22.3. Got a lot of tire room, suspension correct fork. You could put a 100 millimeter fork on that, couldn't you? Most people don't. Now you see this bike ridden a lot on the Tour Divide. In fact, I would bet on the Tour Divide race where they go from Canada to Mexico, self-supported bikepacking stuff, ultra endurance. I think the Cutthroat is like the #1 bike of all time. The problem is I don't have a Salsa Cutthroat. But what I do have hanging in my garage is a couple bike carcasses behind me, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I can combine a couple bikes that really aren't being used right now, steal some parts from one, put it on the other, buy some other parts, and maybe fairly inexpensively kind of make my own Cutthroat of a sort. Now, the idea of taking drop bars and putting them on a mountain bike, a hardtail chassis, where you have big tires, low gears, a suspension fork, probably, say, 120 millimeter travel, at least 100, and converting that to a drop bar, it's not really nothing new. It's been interesting watching that happen a little bit in the ultra endurance world. I've seen Dylan Johnson do it on his bikes. He's kind of a gravel racer, maybe road racer. He does all kinds of racing, young, fast guy. But he did a video, and I'll link that. It's very interesting, where he took a hardtail mountain bike, put a drop bar on it, converted it over. He thought that maybe that was actually faster for some races than either a pure mountain bike or a pure gravel bike. Something, for instance, like the Big Sugar gravel race. Chris Hall, He's another guy I've seen do a conversion. And he did that, I think, maybe because he had some wrist injuries and so on. Something he does races like the Silk Road race. I mean, just ultra endurance stuff across very, very, very difficult remote areas. So for him, that seemed to make a lot of sense too. And Leo Wilcox, the ultra endurance queen, she did a drop bar conversion to a hardtail for one of her events. So I'm starting to see this to be a thing. And I thought, can I do that with parts and bikes that I have very inexpensively? So in the next video of this project, I'll be talking about the parts and the pieces that I use to actually make this happen. I'm still collecting things. I want to get a few more parts in my hands before I do another video. But the idea is to take a fairly, well, pretty much unused hardtail mountain bike that I have sitting in my garage for many, many years, just kind of languishing and collecting dust. Use that as the basic platform. Take some parts off my Linsky GR250 that it won't be used in the future at all when I do resurrect this chassis. Combine them, add some other parts, and bibbidi bobbidi boo, we're going to have ourselves, hopefully, a very, very functional and very inexpensively done drop bar, mountain bike, fat tired gravel bike. I don't even know what to call this thing, but it's something I can use for those, I don't know, those bike packing moments where a gravel bike doesn't make sense. I want to do a lot more bike packing this year. I've got 2 of these giant Tupperware containers filled with camping and bike packing gear. I've got bags, I've got burrito bags, I've got bar bags, I've got down quilts, I've got different shelters, bivvies, etc., etc. I've done bike packing. I want to do a lot more. Things like in California, we have the Stagecoach 400, that type of stuff. And that just fires me up. I love watching other creators on YouTube, their bike packing. I want to do that. I think this bike for me, if I get it right, is going to be a really, really neat vehicle just for these desert bike packing stuff that we have around here. Anyway, I'll be laying out more of it as we go by, but I want to take this old mountain bike that's behind me. It's maybe an 8-year-old, 10-year-old or so. I can't remember exactly. A hardtail mountain bike is Specialized Fuse. Now that came with 27.5 plus tires, and it'll run 29 by, I think 2.3 easily. Well, that's really a good advantage because I think bike packing really lends itself very well to a plus tire. So I've got that. It's Boost. I had to convert it to 1x12. I'm going to mix in some SRAM road type shifters, hydraulic. Those will work really well. I'll show you the bits and pieces I'm going to use to make that work. And in the end, what I'll end up with, I think, is a very capable hardtail with a functional drop bar, hydraulic brakes, a 120 fork, slack geometry, but not super slack, a dropper post with suspension. We'll find out about that, how that works out. The ability to run 29er tires, wheels and tires, and also 27.5 plus wheels and tires, 1x mechanical shifting, and with enough gears to get me pretty much anywhere I want to go. I'm excited about it. And, you know, I realize the possibility is there that I am, instead of creating something great, I'm just going to make a lousy mountain bike or a slow gravel bike. And if it's a success, I would take and maybe go shopping for a frame that's a little bit more designed around bike packing. Because you know this frame, this wasn't designed for any of that. It has no braze-ons for racks. It has, you know, there's ways around that, and that's probably what I'll do on this. But it's also nice to have all the bits and bobs to attach all the things to your bike functionally, 3 water bottle braze-ons and those types of things. Anyway, that's it for now. I wanted to do a bunch of other things, but quite frankly, it has just been raining and raining and raining in California. So for now, it's what I could do in between the raindrops. In fact, the clouds are coming in again. It's getting cold. You see me rubbing my hands. It's not because I'm excited. It's because I'm cold for now. All right, you guys, have a great week and or weekend. Help me name this. I don't know, what is it? Is it going to be fat gravel? Is it going to be, it's not really a drop bar mountain bike. And I'll get into why I think that's not a good name for this. It's not even monster cross, because that means you're starting with a cyclocross bike, doesn't it? Monster cross. This isn't that. I don't know what the name is for these. You know, bikepacking.com, that's a great site. They did a little editorial. They said maybe what we're seeing is the rise of the all-terrain bike, the ATB. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's quite it either. But whatever this thing's going to be called, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned. If you're interested in this, subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Might be a little bit before I get all this done, but it's going to be a great spring and summer exploration vehicle, I think. As always, have a great week and or weekend, and go ride your bikes. Hey, muy guapo, no? Yes. Spicy chili coming through.